I think there's also an unfortunate misconception that for those in our industry, if nothing else, we do keep compliance front of mind. We do think about, I don't know, little things like the laws and regulations and making sure that we're minimizing as much exposure as possible. And again, this cuts two ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes we overdo it. Sometimes in ensuring that we are keeping our teams and organizations so compliant, we are overstepping the bound of what our leaders hear as being strategic for the org versus protecting against risks that don't exist to them yet. Right? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Someone has to do it. And unfortunately, it's a part of our function. We're not all legal and regulatory, but I think that's part of that translation that we have to do more finessing around. And that's where, again, that partnership word is really important.
Yeah. I wish people actually understood that. That's a misconception. I wish people understood more that there are laws that regulate how I do work. Because nobody else is thinking about that. Like, you think your sales leader is thinking about that? You think maybe your marketing leader, if you think about like data and GDPR in Europe, like, yes, they're probably thinking about like laws and regulations. But like, I wish more employees understood, like, not only am I filtering through like what's best for the company, I also have to think about, can I legally do this? There are 50 states in the US, and every state has different laws. And I think like a lot of people are just like, oh, our HR leader just does whatever they want. And I'm like, no, my dude, I got to literally look up, like, if I'm offboarding someone in California, I got to pay them a paycheck that week. You know what I mean? Like, that paycheck has to be cut and sent to them. Like, there are laws around that. They have vacation. I got to pay it out. And so I think a lot of people forget that we are also balancing like legally what needs to be done. And with that comes also risk and exposure. And so like, if we're the only people thinking about risk and exposure at the company, you're just set up to fail. And so something I do with everyone I work with is I always make clear, if I think that down the line there's going to be some sort of like thing that they need to know about, I will tell them ahead of time. So I'll say, hey, I know you want to hire someone in that country. FYI, if we hire someone in that country, they have different laws when it comes to like severance and offboarding. Here's what you need to know. I don't think it's going to fail, but I think prior to us even hiring them, you have to understand that there are things at play that you might not know, that you don't actually have a decision-making power over, and I don't have decision-making power over because I'm beholden to these set of rules. So I do wish more people talked about that aspect of it, because I think it's lost on so many employees and leaders.
It's unfortunate that the proactivity is held against the function, held against us in the industry. And unfortunately, it also feeds into like, that's what makes us the chaperones. That's what makes us the wet blankets. That's why we got to bring them in late, because they're going to slow things down. Yeah. Slowing things down so we don't get sued, slowing things down so, you know, our licenses don't get suspended and things of that nature. It's not a bad thing, but to be the ones that are always proactively thinking ahead of those exposure points is really difficult. It's unfortunate, but it does lead into those misperceptions.
Yeah. Oh man. I always call myself like the adult in the room. Like, I feel like I'm the downer, because everyone will be like, we should do this thing. And I'm like, well, actually, we like can't really do that. Because like, here are the other things we're gonna have to think about if we do that. And if we do that incorrectly, I'm gonna have to follow up. And these are all the papers I'm in, and everyone's like, whoa, Hebba, okay. And I'm like, I just want everyone to know I'm really fun in real life.
Right.
I'm like really fun in real life, and I'm fun at work. But like, also, I'm not breaking no laws for you. I'm not. And like, that means, unfortunately, I don't get to do all the fun things I want to do sometimes. So I'm like, can't do that. It's against the law. That's wrong.
Someone has to do it.
I think we've talked a lot of, I know, but someone has to do it. It's us. And that's why I think like our relationship with everyone at the org is incredibly complicated and is so nuanced. And there are days where I wake up and I'm just like, I just want to be everyone's friend, and I want to have fun too. And I want to kick back and say all the crazy shit I would normally say. But then I'm reminded that's not my role, unfortunately. And I don't know. It just feels, this job is very lonely.
For sure. And just to add to that, to everyone else that's not quite in the industry that's listening to this episode, we are employees too. Hard stop.
It's lost on the employees. I'm like, do you not understand? I also work here.
Yep.
Like everything you're dealing with, I'm dealing with as well. But not only that, I have to advocate for you and I advocate for myself. And you're going to act like I'm above the rules. I'm not above the rules. One more misconception. I'm heating up, Chris. I'm heating up. Gotta watch out. I'm on fire. Pretty soon, NBA Jam rules are going to come into play, and I'm going to be on fire. I'm heating up.
Let's do it.